Tactics for the welcome to my first guide to teamfight tactics for the new Bangbros. Bangbros has been a very popular comp actually a few patches ago, where the whole comp kind of revolved around Yasuo and Master Yi as our carries. But unfortunately, the comp was hit by a couple of very large nerfs, so it kind of fell out of the meta. So now what has changed is with the new 10.12 mid-season update, we kind of got Set, our new hero. Set is a rebel and infiltrator, which is actually a very nice addition to the comp itself, and he can function as a very nice carry for us. What else is good is that we have a Blade Master spat here. It's not that important actually. It's fine because it allows us to reach 6 Blade Masters and gives Set a very nice buff as our primary carry. But Master Yi and Yasuo function as 2 secondary carries, so they can actually do the job quite nice as well. So let me explain a bit about the basics here on this builder, the basics of the build. So basically, when we start off, we always try to start with a sword here, or a chain vest, though I heavily prefer sword because we need quite a lot of them. So of course, one of the primary goals is to get the Blade Master spat, but if we don't get it, which will happen, of course, it's not a reliable item that you can chase after, we still need some swords, especially for Guardian Angel and Deathblade. Deathblade is not that important. It's a nice item to have, but Guardian Angel, in my opinion, is the most core item you can have on set. It's basically the same reason why we play the Void comp with Kha'Zix at the moment with a Guardian Angel, which is when an infiltrator jumps into the backline and your front line, in this case our Shen, dies. The backline of the enemy will always focus down our infiltrator. So this allows us to actually reset aggro, and then we can start cleaning up the backline after Set died one time. If you don't get that many swords, because basically here you need 4 swords, right? You can always go, for example, with this one here, Rapid Fire Cannon. The new Rapid Fire Cannon actually not only doubles your range, but it also makes it so the enemy cannot dodge your attacks anymore, which makes it a very strong item, in my opinion, on a lot of carries right now. So yes, there's of course some other basic AD items that you can go, like Infinity Edge, for example. But Deathblade or Rapid Fire Cannon would probably be my first choice. If you can't get a Guardian Angel because like you run out of swords or you don't get a Chain Vest at all, then I would probably suggest going for a Quicksilver Sash as the next item. So yes, any other items like additional Chain Vests, bows, rods, especially rods combined with here, Ginzu's Rage Blade, can go on Master Yi. And our crit gloves, we don't really have any use for our crit gloves in this build, can go on Yasuo. Okay, so now for the units, it's pretty standard. This would be your optimal level 7 build that we have right here. So if we get a Blade Master spat, I would always level to 7 and then slow roll from there on. Try to 3-star Shen, Yasuo, Master Yi, Set. Give priority to Set and Master Yi, afterwards to Yasuo and Shen in this order. And then we just add Riven and Irelia for the 6 Blade Master buff and any infiltrator basically for the infiltrator buff. If you don't get a Fizz, which is actually unlikely, but you can just put in Shaco or the new added Nocturne, or later replace it even with Echo if you find him. In case you don't get a Blade Master spat, I would always slow roll at level 6 to have an increased chance to hit Shen, Yasuo, and Set. So let's say we don't get the Blade Master spat. What will happen is basically we don't need the Irelia. We probably stay around level 6 with this combo. If you don't have Riven at level 6, which is actually likely to, you can just replace her with, let's say, another Chrono. I like Blitzcrank, for example, to get the Chrono buff. which is, yeah, pretty nice too. Okay, so we slow roll at level 6, hit our units, and then once we hit them, we go to level 7. If you have a Blade Master spat, we want to get 6 Blade Masters as fast as possible, which means we have to level to 7. We take out the Blitzcrank, and we play Riven and Irelia, like this. So we get the 6 Blade Masters and the Chrono buff, Infiltrate a Rebel. Very nice. On 7, you can slow roll very nicely too. You have a 5% less chance to hit your 2-star units with Shen, Yasuo, Set. But we have a 5% higher chance to actually hit here Master Yi, and also can get reliably our 4-star units with Riven and Irelia. Once you have everything on 3-star, probably Set and Master Yi the most important ones, you can level to level 8 and add Mana Reaver with Thresh. Unfortunately, Kassadin is out of the game in this update, so yes, we need to reliably hit Thresh on level 8 to add Mana Reaver. Usually you don't hit level 9 with this composition, but if you do, if you have a nice win streak and a lot of HP and you can go level 9 after hitting all your units, then you can probably add another Chrono. Whatever you prefer, basically. We have 4 Chronos then. 4 Chronos has been buffed, so it might be a bit better than it was before this patch. So now let's say since, well, I've done about, I would say 15 games with this composition on PvE so far, and I've hit Blade Master spat in about half of them, I would say, maybe a bit more than half of them, which is actually pretty good. Let's say you don't get the Blade Master spat. I would suggest playing either Mystics or Celestial, which means, we stay at 6 with this comp, and then basically once we hit our stuff, we go to 7 and 8, adding Lulu and any other Celestial, if we want to play Celestial. Like Lulu, we probably only hit at level 8, so before level 8 on level 7, we have to play something else. Maybe a Soraka, if we want Mystic, right? Or if the lobby is not very magic heavy, which actually, I think in 10.12 we will have a lot of magic heavy lobbies. You can just add any other Celestial. For example, you can use Xayah or you can use Ash, whatever Celestial you actually have. Okay. And 6 Blade Masters. You could actually add 6 Blade Masters level 8, but if Set is not a Blade Master and he is our primary carry, I wouldn't suggest doing so. It's not a big deal. I mean, you could, if you actually hit level 9 with this, you could add another Blade Master just to buff up Yasuo and Master Yi a little bit, but that's basically it. Okay, so after we covered the basics of the items, I would suggest you watch one gameplay that I did on the PvE server. I will give a few comments, and yes, you can just see it in action, see how it goes, and yeah, have fun, guys. Hey guys, welcome to my gameplay footage of the Bangbros 10.12 guide. So right here we start at a Nicoverse game, and as I said in the beginning, our plan is to actually get a sword, which we hit here. You can see here, if we don't get a sword, the chain vest would be the next best option, and after that, probably a bow or a rod, whatever we can hit. So the goal here is, after we got our sword, to actually play our strongest board until we reach level 5. And if you don't know what a strongest board is, I recommend watching videos. You can just put it on YouTube, Google it, strongest board. Holt is a very good player that explains what strongest board actually means. So yeah, the most important thing is to just hit a reliable item carry until we find Set if we don't get him early. Here we got a second sword, which is very, very good since, as I mentioned earlier, we actually need 4 swords in this build. We got Caitlyn here. Caitlyn is a very nice carry because you can actually combine her with Chrono if you get a Gangplank or if you get a Blitzcrank or a Shen early, or just combine them with Twisted Fate and put in any front line. Here we found Eloy and another Chain Vest, which means we can yeah, we can actually start slamming a Guardian Angel, our core item for set, also as mentioned earlier. Um, we also got a Nocturne, which allows for a nice Infiltrator start if we get another Infiltrator. I wouldn't suggest making Nocturne your item holder because it means you actually have to sell him later if you get set and then find another Infiltrator, which can be very nasty at times. Here we got Shaco. Shaco is, I mean, it's a high roll, of course, but we can just make him our item carry until we find set. An alternative would have been to make Nocturne the item carry here instead of Shaco, but yeah, Nocturne is just. I just wanted to ensure we get a nice win streak with Shaco, and Nocturne is not a good holder of those items. In general, I would say the unit is actually very weak. A few things that I want to mention about Nicoverse, by the way, is I think you can play this comp on pretty much any galaxy. Nicoverse is kind of, I mean, it allows you, if you low roll, to hit your 3 stars faster later, but it also allows the enemies to peak very early, especially fast 8 players or Jinx players, which means you will lose a lot of HP, which, yeah, you will actually see happening in this game. Here we got a nice Leona and Nocturne 2-star, including a Shaco, um, which allows me to actually win streak this game until I think for the whole of stage 2. Don't be afraid to level, especially if you think you're strong. This is not a hyper roll comp where you need to preserve a lot of eco and want to roll at level 4. We find an early Shen, which is quite nice. I think I'll keep him for a long time. I was thinking about playing Chrono instead of Leona and Xayah, but since they're both 2 stars, 2-star just are superior to any traits, most traits that you get early game. So we just keep it like that. I will also pre-level here to reach level 5 after the carousel, which allows us to have a higher chance to hit the units that we want. On the carousel, of course, on the second carousel, we always want a sword again. If I get another sword, I could make Deathblade immediately. If I don't get another sword, I would have preferred the bow, which is gone, or just use the crit glove to slam Thieves' Gloves later on. So here, the sword has been taken, which means that, yes, I will probably try to get the crit glove. Was a bit too late for the chase. Yes, and we got the Darius here. As I said, Thieves' Gloves is a perfect item for Yasuo since we don't have any other use for crit gloves. So here we reach level 5. I'm not sure what I decide to play here, either Vanguards or actually take out Xayah and add Chrono. Yes, that's what I did. I wanted to keep Xayah in case we don't get a Blade Master Spatula, which at this point actually didn't seem like we get one. So I kept her just in case we want to play Celestials instead of 6 Blade Masters, and it can be a pain to look for 1-cost units later in the game. If she would have costed me eco, I would have sold her. That's important to note. You don't want to keep bench holders on the cost of your econ. This game looks like I'm yes. The Darius got some nice resets here, but it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, very nice. So I don't have to sell the Xayah. And now our goal is to survive the last round without losing, so we can actually go with a win streak into the first creep round. Okay, I repositioned my Shaco with a quick scout before, and I saw that I didn't face this guy yet, so I positioned my Shaco on the left side to actually jump and kill the Syndra, which pretty much won me the fight here. I'm sure I would have lost otherwise. Okay, so we went with a nice win streak into our first creep round. With infiltrators, you also always want to position on the right side, so your 2 infiltrators can actually jump to the single creep unit and don't split focus and aggro. The rest is free standard, front line on the front, of course. and let's pray for good drops. We got a bit of money. I think 4 gold we got here, and a rod. Now rods are good items. You can put them for a rage blade onto Master Yi, or you can, if you get a ionic spark or a death cap, you can put it on Riven, or you can even just put it on Master Yi. Doesn't matter too much. I like Master Yi probably more since this is not treasure trove. We don't have a lot of over over items, so just go and equip your carries. In this case, Master Yi. So we found a set here too, which means I immediately sold the Shaco and put set in. Could have maybe waited until I get set 2-star, but since the Shaco was costing me a bit of econ, I just sold him and played set here. You can see set does a lot of damage. He steals a percentage of his target's AD, which means he is very good against carries that build AD, like Jinx for example. So here we actually lost our win streak, which isn't too bad. You can't win streak forever with this build unless you immensely high roll. So here we found the Shen. We replaced it with Caitlyn just to get a little bit more frontline. We do a quick scout here to see which side we should stand on. Just do a quick scout and count on which side of the arena most of your enemies are. If you see the majority on the left side, position your infiltrators on the left, and if not, position them on the right or in the middle. Okay, so we kept on with our losses. We found a Shen. I make a pre-level for 6, which means in the next round after carousel again, we hit 6. And we start rolling all our gold above 50 to actually hit our 3-star units. As I mentioned earlier in the guide already, we prefer to hit Set and Master Yi as primary carries, and after that Yasuo and Shen in this order. So if you run out of space, you sell the unit with the least priority. In this fight, our Shen did a lot of work, very nicely. He has a Master Yi already, so I wasn't quite sure if he's trying to go for Master Yi carry, which made me a bit worried, since if this comp is contested, it's probably not worth playing it. On the other hand, you don't really need Master Yi level 3 to win, as long as you hit your set. And a contested set you can still hit. There's more than enough units for both players to 3-star it. Okay, so again, I try to go in the carousel, I go for the BF. If you get a spatula in the carousel, always go for the spatula. It's very important. But as I said, it's not so dramatic if you actually can't hit the Blade Master spat. It's just a very nice buff for this comp. I would say it's probably mandatory to go first place with it. But other than that, it's a very good comp to hit top 4 too. Okay. I was thinking about making the Caitlyn, but I just ended up selling her, I think, yes. Make some space on the bench. And we hit set 2 already, which is very nice. Preferably here I wanted to hit another Rebel, but I didn't find any, so I just played whatever unit I had left. I probably could have played another Shen, would have been better than just a Fiora 1-star. So here I'm on the wrong side, clearly. I did a quick scout before and she was the only player on the left side. Just unfortunate. Here my Nocturne takes pretty good care of her, actually, his fear. And this Darius here was also very, very strong. If I didn't hit Guardian Angel, I would have lost here, this fight, definitely. So we pretty much stabilized with a set 2, which is very important to hit him early. And we get a lot of Shens. Since Shen is our only frontline, 3-starring him is very nice. I'm actually not sure if I would prioritize 3-starring Yasuo over Shen. As I said, since Shen is our only frontline, maybe I would even give more priority to him. We got an early Riven. I think if she costs me econ in some cases, I would just sell her again because we wouldn't need her before level 7, and I'm not planning on going 7 if I don't get a Blade Master spat. But since she's costing me no econ here, I'm just keeping her. Go into the creep round with a 3-game winning streak again. It's always nice to go into creep rounds with winning streaks. Here I swap out the Malphite because I thought I have enough frontline already with Blitzcrank and Shen. And this allows me to get the Blade Master buff for now. It's not a big deal, the Blade Master buff for now, since Yi and Yasuo are only 1 star so far. Okay, so we got a lot of crit gloves here, which is mostly not what you want to see. But, I mean, it's at least our Thieves Gloves for Yasuo, right? Which is nice. We also got another Nikos. As long as I have more than 3 items, or 3 or more items, I always want to slam something. And Trap Claw is not a bad item. You can have it on anyone. Maybe I didn't need to put it on Master Yi. I could have probably put it on Fizz too. But yeah, I still decided for Master Yi. You don't want to go Blitzcrank 2-star, 3-star by the way. It's just a waste of econ. It's not a good unit to 3-star. And we want to sell him later anyways, so don't get baited if you see 3 Blitzcranks in your shop. Okay, we got a pretty nice shop in general, but we got an early Shen 3-star, which carried me a long way in this game, which is very nice. We also got an Irelia. I just kept her again for the coming levels in case I get a spatula. But as I said, if they cost you any econ, you can just sell them while rerolling. It was a misposition on his part to just corner his Jhin. Usually the thing with Blitzcrank is, just like in Void Kha'Zix reroll, you position your Infiltrator on the opposite side of your Blitzcrank, so your Blitzcrank pulls the bait of the carry away and your Infiltrator can hit the carry. So, I think you know the deal by now, right? Carousels, we get the swords, we get the chain vests, or we get the bow. That's our items. I took the sword in case I get a Blade Master spat. If not, I would probably made an Infinity Edge or pretty much anything. I'm not sure if I actually slam it here on set. If I do, I think it's a mistake, because it could be a Guardian Angel, for example, from Master Yi instead. Yeah, I'm actually slamming it, right? Yeah. Which, I mean, worst case, it's a Gunblade, right? That's not too bad either. In this fight, I think I have heavy problems with Jinx here, since my Jinx didn't focus my Shen. The Jinx didn't focus the Shen, she focused the Blitzcrank pull, which meant she immediately got resets and just destroyed my whole team. Okay, so for the creep round, I was of course looking for a spatula, a bow would be very nice, armor would be nice. I have my core items pretty much on set, which I think is very fine. I got very lucky. So, after the creep round, we actually dropped a spatula. Perfect item. I immediately leveled to 7 now and put in 6 Blade Masters. You always want to do this. As soon as you get your spatula, go to 7, put in 6 Blade Masters. It doesn't have to be Ribbon or Aurelia, it can be any other Blade Master too. Just get your 6 Blade Master buff. Set with Blade Master does so much damage. And look at this shop. I just got 4 Master Yis. In order to spike, I actually Nicoed one of them, just to make sure I don't lose more HP from now on. This is Nicoverse, don't forget it. At 5-1, a lot of people level to 8 and copied their carry if they found it. And yeah, I don't want to lose too much HP. Starting from stage 5, you can actually start rolling down a bit more, since, as I said, people spike here and you don't want to lose a lot of HP. So here, as you see, I'm rolling down here to look for my set. I picked up the Lulu just because I know sometimes I want to play Celestials or Mystics, but I think I end up selling her in the end for Econ. So I rolled down to 20 gold, right? And I will not waste more Econ trying to find Yasuo. Instead, I try to level up to level 8 and put in a Mana Reaver. Thresh at level 8 is very strong. You can stay at level 8, just build up your bench and win the game with that. There's 2 rapid fire cannons here, which, yeah, they are. RFC is such a nice item now, since I said it before, it doesn't only double your range now, but it also makes it so your attacks can't be dodged anymore. It's a very good item on any of your carries. I end up putting it to Master Yi, of course. He's 3-star, he deals a lot of true damage, and if his attacks can't miss, he's just a lot stronger. This guy plays actually a Cassiopeia with Protector Spat, which is so strong. I don't know if I actually managed to kill that Cassio here, I don't think so. It's unfortunate that my set focused her the whole game and didn't get any stacks for his Deathblade. But just, yeah, incredible strong. Okay, since I have 21 HP, I know I'm on 2 lives, unless I get a very, very bad loss. And with a quick scout of the lobby, I know that I shouldn't lose very hard to any of the other players. So I take a gamble here and take as much money as I can into the next creep round, so I can hit level 8 quickly and actually have a few gold left to search for my Thresh. This guy has a Jinx 3 already. I'm not sure if I end up winning this round. Probably not, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I still survived with 6 HP. It was a bit of a gamble, to be honest. I think I didn't see the Jinx 3, otherwise I probably would have leveled, maybe. Anyways, we're on 1 life now. Frozen Heart is a nice item. I think I end up giving it to Shen, but I would have wanted it on Fizz, probably, to just slow down the Jinx in the backline. Okay, so here level to 8. I have about 15 to 18 gold to look for any units. I found an Echo. Echo is a very strong unit with this new patch. He got reworked slightly, which means he doesn't jump to all the targets on the board anymore, but he jumps 6 to 16 times to the targets with the highest attack speed, as far as I know, which means he can actually burst some units down very nicely. And he's not useless if he ults at the end of the fight. We secure a win against the Star Guardian player very easily. The next fight here is again against the Cassiopeia. My set again got stuck on her, but I think with the help of Irelia he can burst her down. Yes. And my Master Yi did a lot of work to clean up the other units. It gets kind of close here, I think, because this Rakan is a chat. He's a fucking beast. There we go. So I think what's left now is the Star Guardian player and the Jinx player. We found the Thresh here, very nice. I end up swapping Echo for the Fizz. Fizz is a good unit, but I think Echo is just such a good unit. Okay, we face this guy again. He's playing. Oh, he's not playing Star Guardians. He's playing Zorks, right? Gangplank Zorks. I was very lucky here because he didn't have larger area upgrades, so my set didn't get hit by the ultimate. But I think even then I would have won. So this is our last carousel. The other player got eliminated. What I did before I think I cut this part out is I actually Nicoed my Echo to have my Thresh pull at least one unit in. So now I got a 2-star Echo. Probably after Janna the strongest 5 cost that you can 2-star currently. Okay, so here positioning is very important. I need the Jinx to hit my Shen for as long as possible, so she doesn't get resets too fast. So I actually don't want the Infiltrators to directly, both of them, jump into the Jinx. Okay, so Jinx starts focusing the Shen. And my Echo saved it here. She just focused Shen for like 1 or 2 seconds and then immediately turned around to hit my Infiltrators. But I had enough damage to not allow her to reset and end the fight early. Okay, I think what ends up happening here now is he's repositioning with clumping up in the left corner, yes. Which I think is very unfortunate for him, because in this fight I think the Jinx finally ends up hitting my Shen for like 5 seconds. Quick reposition. So let's see what happens here. Blitzcrank pulls my Ribbon, and Jinx doesn't turn around. No, she does, yeah. She turned around, but my Ribbon that Jinx was focusing was still in Shen's bubble, so this fight was pretty easy. So there you go. That was my gameplay and my guide for the Bangbros, for the new 10.12 Bangbros. If you have any questions, leave a comment, or you can actually visit me on my Twitch TV, which is twitch.tv/Mr. Johnny Cash. I'm mostly streaming every day. If you have any questions or want more gameplay, just head over there. Have a good one, guys. See you.